What? You've never heard of RTZ? Oh my goodness. Okay, if you like the music of Boston, and in particular miss the angelic, soulful sounds of Mr. Brad Delp, well, I've got a treat for you. RTZ was a collaboration between Boston members Brad Delp and Barry Goodrow around 1989. At that time, Delp was on hiatus from Boston and he was feeling a bit antsy. He was feeling anxious creativity-wise. On a whim, he reached out to his old friend Barry Goodrow about possibly putting something together and, well, voila, RTZ was formed. In addition to Goodrow and Delp, RTZ consisted of keyboardist Brian Mays, drummer Dave Stefanelli, and bass player Tim Archibald. RTZ signed with Giant Records, and their first album, the aptly titled Return to Zero, was released in 1991. So I've got to admit, in 1991 my Boston collection was gathering a bit of dust and I hadn't even heard about RTZ. The only reason that I ended up with a copy of their debut CD was that I'd won it from a local radio station. However, the minute that I put that CD in my Sony Discman and strapped on a pair of headphones, I knew this was an album that would be part of the standard rotation that is my life's soundtrack. The video was produced for the first single, Face the Music, and everybody in the band was pretty excited about the response that that song was getting. In fact, they were so encouraged that they decided to hit the road and tour to support the album. Because of the time commitment that a tour would require, Delp gave Boston his notice. Yep, Brad Delp actually quit the band, Boston, way back in 1991. After playing the US extensively, the band put together another video for the song Until Your Love Comes Back Around. That single, which is in fact my favorite RTZ song, was very successful and reached #1 in several markets and 26 in the US. Two other tracks from the album, There's Another Side and All You've Got, also got quite a bit of airplay. So why haven't you heard about this album? As music critics have revisited it, many have called it one of the classic albums of the era. The songwriting, musicianship, and production are top-notch. And of course, you have Brad Delp singing. One of the reasons that this album was overlooked is because it was released right as the grunge scene was making a huge impact on the music industry. All of a sudden, bands like REO Speedwagon, Journey, Boston, and Styx started to seem a little less relevant. Some bands like Kiss, in fact, even tried to reinvent themselves as grunge musicians. Yeah, check out Carnival of Souls. It was the last Kiss album before the original four members reunited. It was a great album, but it wasn't Kiss, and it wasn't a success. But let's get back to RTZ. Unfortunately for our Boston fans, or fortunately depending on how you look at it, Brad decided to return to Boston for the Corporate America album and subsequent tour. RTZ became something of a side project at that point, and then, over time, just kind of faded away. Still, what we're left with is a phenomenal album that deserves to be remembered, and for heaven's sake, revisited from time to time. So what do you think? Do you remember RTZ? Did you love their album the way that I did? The way I do? Or do you think that they're just a watered-down version of Boston? Leave your comments below and please give this video a like. It means a lot to me. As always, I would be honored if you'd consider subscribing to my channel, but most importantly, thank you so much for watching.